About 15 to 25, gusts 35, maybe a little bit higher than that'll be possible today. But Angie, it is going to be warm this afternoon. We'll have temperatures in the 70s today.
That'll be nice. Thank you, Steve. And this morning we are still following power outages as companies continue restoration efforts. Michael has the latest updates from the News Now desk. What do you know, Michael?
Well, Angie, right now the situation is improving dramatically. Just a handful of outages to report from Xcel Energy, less than a handful. In fact, that company's reported the most outages in the area since Sunday. We have an update now looking at Xcel's outage map. There are only 2 customers impacted by power outages in Plainview, down from the 30 earlier this morning. In Amarillo, though, the numbers are still shrinking, but still kind of higher. Now less than 1,000 customers impacted around there. Since Sunday's winds came through, Xcel reports more than 72,000 of its customers had power issues. Those were not just folks around Lubbock, though, but also throughout most of the Panhandle and parts of New Mexico. Angie?
Thank you, Michael. And residents across the South Plains still are cleaning up damage caused by Sunday's windstorm. KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Michelson found a few of them, along with some workers who are looking at hectic schedules.
Trees are going down, fences back up, and trampolines are coming back down to earth after a wild windstorm Sunday.
We could hear the wind outside. It was pretty loud. You could definitely hear it, and then all of a sudden we heard some noise at the front of the house, and I went outside to investigate, and sure enough the tree had fallen on the house.
Now homeowners like Matthew Belia are dealing with the aftermath. A hole in his roof and possibly one fewer tree in his front yard.
Yeah, it's stressful because that's why we love the neighborhood. There's a lot of trees in this neighborhood, so we're disappointed.
His family moved from Houston 5 years ago, choosing this home because of all the trees on the property. While he's seen other natural disasters, he's never dealt with something like this.
It's the good old Lubbock, West Texas dirt storm, and nothing out of the ordinary and yet unfortunate as far as for our trees.
Kelly Hildebrandt with Hildebrandt Tree Tech says his team has been all over the area working to clean up. It's the same story for Cody Colbert with Fence Defender.
It has been insane with everybody's calling in needing fence repair, and we're just having to tell everybody that we are extremely busy and we will get to you as soon as we possibly can.
When it comes to trees, Hildebrandt says multi-trunks are more prone to failure. There are some things you can do to help keep this from happening, like preventative maintenance and cabling.
While we're good at what we do and when we have to clean up the messes, I would much rather prevent the tree from falling apart on the front end.
Just be careful, and if you've got trees in your yard, you just need to make sure you maintain them, and because you never know when stuff like this might happen.
Brittany Michelson at KCBD News Channel 11.
Brittany, thank you for that report. Now for an update on Shallowater ISD. School there will start at its regular time this morning after making some repairs from Sunday's storm. The high winds damaged air conditioner units and caused a gas leak. Elementary students were sent home early yesterday, so crews could make those repairs. And Lorenzo High School's head basketball coach, Dion Mitchell, has been suspended and faces additional probation for violating recruiting rules. Mitchell cannot coach for the 2023-24 school year and can only attend UIL games his son is playing in. Assistant basketball coach Stacy Godfrey also received 2 years probation for his role. It was just a few weeks ago Lorenzo's athletic department was placed on 2 years probation with UIL for recruiting. At that time, a player who moved in from Tulia was ruled ineligible to play for the rest of his senior year.
Right now, investors are waiting for new sales numbers from Target. The company is expected to release sales figures from the last quarter of last year, but execs are sending out a warning before the company probably missed its sales goal. This new batch of numbers will include holiday figures, though, but all throughout last year, Target missed sales projection. Those new numbers are expected to be out about 7 o'clock our time. Angie?
Thank you, Michael. And across the nation, President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is in the spotlight today. The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments in 2 cases linked to this program. John Lawrence reports.
Braving the rainy conditions, a crowd gathered near the U.S. Supreme Court in anticipation of the High Court's decision on the country's student loan forgiveness program.
We all have tremendous amounts of student debt because of the predatory practices of our capitalist economy.
Millions of student loan borrowers could see up to $20,000 of their debt canceled, depending on the outcome of Tuesday's hearing.
What we want to remind American people more broadly is how this program is going to give tens of millions of Americans across the country a little bit of a breathing room that you hear from the president, who says this a lot. That's part of his economic plan.
Critics of the program say the country can't afford to pick up the tab.
We believe that a lot of the inflation is a direct result of bad policies that this president's done through executive order, like canceling the Keystone Pipeline and the student loan debt and things like that.
2 cases are in front of the justices Tuesday. In one, 6 Republican-led states say they would be harmed financially if the program goes into effect. The other involves 2 borrowers in Texas who don't fully qualify for debt forgiveness under the program. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
How and when the justices rule will also determine when payments on federal student loans will continue, especially after a pandemic-related pause that went into place nearly 3 years ago. The Biden administration says payments will resume 60 days after litigation over the forgiveness program after the forgiveness program is resolved, or at the end of August, whichever comes first. We'll keep you posted on that story. And TikTok will soon be banned from all U.S. government-issued devices. The White House is giving federal agencies 30 days to remove the app from its devices after a bill was passed last year to ditch the social media app. Officials have raised concerns that the Chinese government could pressure TikTok into handing over information collected from users. This comes after the European Commission issued a ban last week, and Canada's ban of the app starts today on its governmental devices. Checking in now with Steve Devine to get a peek at your forecast and how you should dress those kiddos this morning heading out the door. Hi, Steve.
Good morning. The current wind chill, well, let me get to the current wind chill here in just a moment. I want to point out that we have a clear sky for the most part. That will be the case today. The airport currently is clear, 36 degrees, a light wind, but the wind chill reading is at 30. So it's a cold start, but winds are on the light side for now. As we check in on the forecast highs, it's going to get quite warm for the last day of February. 75 degrees here in the Lubbock area, about 12 degrees above the average for this time of year. Mid to upper 70s over the eastern part of the viewing area. Upper 60s near 70 in the northwest, and low 70s to the mid 70s, so for the most part across the southwestern viewing area. Just a few clouds drifting through, definitely a dry day, but the wind speeds will gradually pick up. So by late morning, it'll be breezy. This afternoon, somewhat windy. Sustained about 15 to 25 here in the Lubbock area. Gusts near 35 should be pretty common, but we may get some occasional gusts to around 40 miles per hour here in the area today. It's definitely a no burn day. Wildfire danger is very high with the conditions that we're looking at. Overnight, temperatures will drop into the 30s on the Caprock, off the Caprock, 30s and 40s, with Lubbock down to about 37 degrees tomorrow morning. Now, in terms of our 7-day forecast, a little more wind Wednesday and then a little more wind on Thursday, but that's also when we have at least that slight chance of some rain Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, and we'll take a closer look at that coming up here in a few minutes.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. It's 6:09. How are you this morning? On Daybreak today, coming up, the Lubbock VA makes plans for a state veteran cemetery. We'll tell you why it's so important for families of fallen soldiers. Plus, we're seeing who won America's Got Talent All-Stars. It happened last night. Good morning to you. So glad you're here. Stay with us. You're watching Daybreak today on News Channel 11.